Welcome back everybody. It's been a while since I last posted, so I was thinking I would bring you guys up to speed for a bit. Behind me is a 83 Mark 1 Golf, the very first car that I bought that is completely rusted out. So I'm trying to restore it. Last episode you saw me coming up with a way too complicated and over-engineered rotisserie system to hang the car in, to work upon, which out of the gate worked flawlessly immediately. So with this rotisserie system now in place, I can actually start working on the car. And without further ado, here's episode 2 that rhymes. Shady's back. Enjoy. What up guys, good morning. I thought it was time for a little update on the Golf because I've been rather busy, to be completely honest. Over the past couple of weeks I got rid of all the crap that was on the bottom. All the little grime, all the grease, all the bottom protection material, everything has been grinded off, leaving me with a shiny underside of the car. Look at that. So there are probably some spots that I have to revisit and maybe like go in with like a smaller wire brush that I didn't have at the time. But the majority now is to a point where I have an overview of what needs to be done. And I'm actually pretty happy because as you can see, there's not a whole lot of rust going on here. A little bit here, but I can fix that with some rust stopper right here where the trunk is meeting. But also that it's not a supporting structure of the car. So actually this is pretty good. This is pretty good base material to work with. So there are 3 major issues with rust that are at places that are structural. We're gonna get into trouble with stuff like MOT because all of that stuff is a little tougher here in Germany than it is, for instance, in the States, but it's not unmanageable. So the first part is actually the motor mount here at the front, and there's a whole lot of rust in this general area. The garage owner once told me that this car had been in an accident before, so there has been some welding being done to it, and I don't know what happened there, but maybe it's also has to do with the heat that's developing. I don't know, but basically this whole front section is rusted out. Luckily there's plenty of replacement parts for it, so I'm gonna order in replacement bumper bars, rails, that sort of stuff to fix that up. I'm not gonna patch up any holes because it's too much. It's that just needs to be replaced. The 2 other major issues are at the back here. Here, as you can see, bunch of rust. This is where you bolt on. I think it's called the sway thing. It's the part that picks up like that does like this, and then here's the wheel assembly thingy, and it does like moving and stuff. I don't know things about cars. And the other part is the same issue, but then here at the bottom side, major rust, major holes. It's not really safe. But luckily, also for this, there's replacement parts. I got this from the Heritage Parts Center. It's basically this section here, but then apart. And over the course of the day, I want to try to fit it in. And I haven't done it before. It's gonna prove a major challenge, I guess. I have watched plenty of YouTube videos now how to treat this sort of stuff. And I know for a fact that I first need to drill out all of these little spot welds that are in here. And then probably have to cut some material here, because this seems to be running like as a single unit. And then like take this out, examine what is behind it, see if there's not more rust. And then like fit this panel, make it fit, and then plug weld it back in. So there's probably a whole lot of tricks that I need to figure out, like settings with the welder, that sort of stuff. So it's gonna be the struggle for today. But I'm looking forward to it because this is actually like the first major step in the rebuild of this car. You know, the past couple of months were all about tearing it down and stripping it, and now I can finally start building, and it's a good feeling. So as you can see here, I started drilling out these spots, but with a regular drill bit. So it's not very good because it also gets into the steel that needs to be welded on. So I ordered some proper spot weld drill bits, and yeah, I guess let's go to a time lapse of me trying to fiddle with this rusty ass piece of metal here. Yeah, it seems that I'm already destroying my drill bits here. Uh-oh. It seems to have a second side to it, so I'm gonna switch. But other than that, it seems that this guy is already gone. Fixed it. Gotta be careful with this guy because it's the only one I've got. And if I don't have this one now, I have to wait for new ones to arrive. So that would stop me dead in my tracks today. So be careful with this guy. Alright, so I removed the piece. Oh, look at all the holes in there, drilled out all the spot welds. And then it exposed a bunch of rusty metal here that I very enthusiastically start hacking away. And yeah, that wasn't the best idea maybe, because I also hacked into some good metal. Right here, and for instance also right here. This is like a pickup point where a car gets picked up by the hoist. I have to go in and repair that first, and then afterwards start like patching in all of these little spots so I can build a solid construction again. Watching a lot of YouTube videos, I know that I have to transfer it first to paper, make like a template that fits, and then transfer that template onto steel that I got here, and then slowly but surely start patching up these little holes over here. I'm gonna try to do that, put it all on the time lapse, and check back with you guys in a couple of minutes. Little progress report. I'm kind of surprised by how it turned out actually. I got this strip of metal first in. Now I will say this is not danger dan level welding here. It's really boogery, especially if you look at the parts here. But it holds together and it's actually pretty sturdy, so not too shabby. Actually, kind of surprised with that. And I mean, all of this doesn't have to be beautiful yet, because I think it's a really nice practice for welding and for butt welding. It was also not the most easy butt weld because I had to go sort of around the corner here because I ground that part off accidentally. But yeah, it's in now. This is a great motivator. Keep on trucking today. Next part is going to be basically making a piece that goes all here and then possibly around here, sort of covering all of this strap up and then close it off. Cool. Oh, but before I will do that, I will finish this off with a little weld through primer so that it's protected from further rust. And afterwards, like if all the welding here is done, there's actually these little holes where you can put like a little tube and it sprays sort of the liquid wax all to the interior so that when the water comes in, the metal is protected. At least that's what the theory is. So yeah, gonna continue like that, I suppose. Little in-between update. This is the patch panel that I made. It looks promising, it fits everywhere, the gap is not too big. Already drilled some holes that I can plug weld later on. Gonna continue like this. I've now completely welded in the new metal here. I actually made a extra patch panel to fit this up because the other one was getting holes in it and I was like burning through it. So this is my this was my solution to that. It's still not the most prime welding the world has ever seen, but I think for a very first attempt it's not too shabby and it's solid. There's no rust left here, meaning that it will hopefully pass tech. Yeah, so I'm actually pretty stoked with that. It's a lot of fun to do this welding stuff. So for today, I'm actually ready to put the final panel in there. The old panel was spot welded on there. I won't be able to reproduce that because I don't have a spot welder. So I'm gonna plug weld everything. I think that should work, especially when I blend out those welds afterwards. So here's the new piece that I have. Then I can use this as a template to know where to roughly cut my lines and I know where to make my new welds as well. Yeah, so that's gonna be it for today. Oh, you can still see the Audi part in there from... It's a genuine part and I'm gonna replace it by a not genuine part. We'll see. Cool. So let's go to that. Cool, so finished it up, it's in. It's not moving anywhere. I will be honest, the welds could have been a little neater, but you know, I'm still learning. It's in, it's solid, it's rust free now, so yeah, actually pretty pumped with that. And let's go to the other side. Progress update. I managed to get out the panel here. So it did put up way much more of a fight, as you can also see by the way it turned out. It was also way more rusted in, as you can see here. Fortunately, that rust sort of came through to the supporting member here. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought. There is a little crack here that I have to fix, but other than that, the steel is still thick enough. Pretty confident that's gonna work out like that. So in the rage of trying to remove this whole panel thing, I did punch a bunch of holes in the floor. Exhibit A, B, C, D, E, F and G. Probably have to come in later and then patch that up. Other than that, probably kind of the same procedure as what I did on the other side, where I have to come up with a patch panel for this guy. And yeah, I will continue doing that. Alright, well, that's done. I just finished welding up the panel and I have to say, not too shabby. Cut myself a little bit here. Especially if you look at what I did on the other one, I would say this is progress. So yeah, that's basically all the structural pieces for the rear axle back in place. I will probably clean up the rear axle at some point and try to test fit it. For now, this part and also this episode is done. Yeah, that's a wrap on the second episode of the Goldfield. Next episode I will be working on the wheel arches, which is gonna be super exciting, so stay tuned for that. But for now, this is it. If you have been, thank you for watching and see you guys soon.